Okay, so over the second half of Module 2, what we'll be going over, as I mentioned before, we're going to be going over the two remaining professional organizations that we're going to cover. So that will be, again, CSI, the Construction Specifications Institute, and NCS, the National CAD Institute. And we're also going to talk about the AIA just a little bit more. So before we get started into the other professional organizations, the two new ones, I want to talk more about the AIA and typical contracts. So these document sets that I have here, and if you remember from our first set of questions, they have many names: plans, permit sets. What I'll be referring to them as for this last half of Module 2 are our contract documents. So the AIA has established a standard contract, and within that contract there are lots of documents and items that become part of that contract. And these plans right here and these specifications, you don't know what that is, I'll talk about that in a minute, are part of your contract documents. So what I'd like you guys to do is I'm going to link you guys to a video as well as a PDF that goes over the standard types of contracts that you can hold between an architect and an owner, or maybe an architect and a contractor, or an architect, contractor, and an owner. It's important to know the different contract types because depending on the type of contract you hold with whoever your client is, it establishes when your contractor comes on the team. And it also establishes the timeline and essentially who is held liable and just the type of relationship you have. So just to do a quick review of them before you hop in, the two, maybe three main contracts that I want you guys to focus on. The first one is called design, bid, and then build. What that means is first, as the architect, you get hired by the owner. So that's the first thing. There's no contractor yet. You design the project and then you bid it. You bid it out to different contractors. And usually, not always, the lowest bid wins. After the lowest bid wins, the contractor is awarded the contract to build the building. Oh my gosh, this is such a tongue twister. Let me say that again. Design, bid, build, okay? Architect designs it after they get hired by the owner. Architect bids it out. The lowest bid typically goes on to get the contract, and that's who gets to build it. Not always though. Just so you know, most state contracts are run this way. It's because the state uses our tax dollars, so they want to make sure that they're getting, the best bang for their buck and that it's a fair process. At least that's what's supposed to happen. So that's design, bid, build. There is a newer way of doing a contract, and that is design, build. So there's no bidding here, it's just design, build. The way that works is the architect and the contractor are essentially a team. So the architect and contractor are working together from the beginning with the owner. They do the design and they build it. This is a great way to work because what it allows the architect and contractor to do together is to know all of the pricing from the get-go. So in the previous model, if you had bid it out and everything came in high, you'd have to redesign and then rebid it. But in this model, the contractor's already there. They can talk to you about pricing and availability. And more important, they might be more versed in how a building goes together. So an architect might make a detail that can't be built. And we don't want to find out later from the contractor that we have to redo that detail. With them right on the team, we know it from the get-go. So that's another way. And then another way that you guys will be taking a look at is really new. It's called Integrated Project Delivery, IPD. And that is where the owner hires essentially a contractor or contractor's rep, and the architect is not second fiddle, but the contractor's really driving the team in that situation. So those are the three main contracts. Go ahead and watch those PDFs, and I'm going to finish this up in another video. sorry, not watch, read those PDFs.